Frank and John Craighead hunt the most dangerous game in America. They track the grizzly not for thrills, but for knowledge, to observe and understand the behavior of a beast that inspired the most blood-chilling tales in American folklore. Settlers hated the great bear. Indians feared and worshipped him. In legend, an Indian tells a grizzly, "Your heart is black, your blood is black, you kill at night. There is nothing you do that will stand the light of day. You, the bear that walks like a man."
Hello, I'm Mike Farrell, your host for the best of National Geographic, the landmark series from the National Geographic Society. Discover with us man's quest for our planet's hidden wonders and enduring drama. The adventure we embark on may lead to a better understanding of the world and ourselves. Here are the grizzly facts. He can weigh up to 1,000 pounds and reach a height of 9 feet when standing. He can run as fast as 35 miles per hour and sprint 50 yards in 3 seconds. He's intelligent, dexterous, omnivorous, and generally peaceable, though not an ideal dinner companion. He's Ursus arctos horribilis, the great American grizzly bear. We know so much about him, largely because of research conducted over the years by famed naturalists Frank and John Craighead. Before they began to compile the facts, the grizzly bear was a dreaded enigma. Now, thanks to the Craigheads, we have a better understanding of how these powerful beasts fit into the scheme of things. This is the exhilarating story of the Craighead brothers and the early years of their innovative, ongoing study of the most dangerous creature in North America, the grizzly.
It was not long ago, as the earth measures time, that all the air was clean and all the waters pure. Each living thing fit neatly into an exquisite order, a delicately balanced system in which death was part of life, and there was space and life for all. In nature's way, every plant, every creature relates with others. The web of life is harsh, complex, and marvelously entwined, from grass to mouse to owl to coyote. Beaver builds a haven for his young, and his dam creates a new community where moose may feed and fish may thrive and osprey hunt. This is how it has been for the past 30,000 years. It could all be gone within the next 30,000 days. For one creature, man, now claims all the land and the right to change its ecology, the relation between living organisms and their environment. Man has wiped out 100 species and today endangers 1,000 more. Even the grizzly bear, lord of the wilderness, faces extinction. A contemporary of the mastodon and saber-toothed tiger, the grizzly has roamed North America for 1 million years. But in just a century and a half, 2 human lifespans, he has been nearly exterminated. Less than 1,000 remain in the United States outside Alaska. A formidable beast, the grizzly, as strong as an ox, fast as a horse, quick as a cat. No animal but man can challenge him. None but man can save him. Today, a secluded laboratory in Yellowstone National Park houses the first major scientific study of the grizzly. A research team led by Doctors Frank and John Craighead, using techniques and insights of modern science, has culled truth from legend in an effort to save the great bear.
Jay, could you check 202?
The Craigheads are twin brothers, both PhDs in ecology.
57, and someone with you.
John, a biologist with the Bureau of Sport, Fisheries, and Wildlife, is a professor at the University of Montana and director of its Wildlife Research Unit. Frank is president of the Environmental Research Institute and professor at the State University of New York.
Yeah, Lance, Charlie, Derek go along with you. Fine. Well, it's getting late. Let's get going.
To capture a grizzly for intimate study, the researchers have baited a trap with meat and set the trigger that will release the trap door.
How are you? He's fine. What'd you estimate her weight as, Bob?
4 or 4.25.
425?
That's pretty close.
When the Craigheads began, there were no set dosages for drugging a grizzly. It had never been done before. Too heavy a dose could endanger the bear. Too little endangers the researchers.
Okay, she's got her head this way.
Get hit. Jack, did you get the dosage down?
Yeah, I got that.
The drug acts quickly, in about 5 minutes. Similar to curare, it relaxes the animal by blocking nerve transmission to the skeletal muscles. It is quickly eliminated and has no lasting effects. When the bear is immobilized, John prepares an anesthetic that will keep the grizzly manageable for several hours. A student carefully records the dosage and the animal's reaction.
She's ready. Let's scatter now.
Because so little is known about the grizzly, nearly everything they learn will be a first. Even such basic questions as how many grizzlies are there? How rapidly do they grow and mature? How long do they live?
All right, now try it. 450.
25 Lynette. 425. Wait.
With scientific precision, they gather the vital statistics of a living, free population.
Next 31. Nose to eye, 6.5. All right, this is right, 4 foot. Width, 5.5. Hold her head up just a little bit there. Can't
Make a hole first.
Each bear gets a number and a brightly colored ear tag to make possible a census of the grizzly population and to enable the research team to keep track of individual bears.
G62.
Color-coded plastic markers allow positive identification at a distance. Over 200 grizzlies have been marked and observed from year to year. Analysis of milk samples sent to other scientists will supply clues to the grizzly's body chemistry and reveal relationships with other species. Now, this day's work is done. But the team will not leave until it's certain the bear has recovered from the drugs. Grizzlies are obese animals. Blood samples taken from dozens reveal high cholesterol and low thyroid levels. This condition in humans indicates hardening of the arteries, but grizzlies do not suffer from this disease. Why? As the Craigheads and their colleagues work on this scientific puzzler, they may provide better understanding of the disease in man.
Now, if you can grab his tongue.
Although old grizzlies, like old people, tend to have bad teeth, the plaster cast has no connection with dental hygiene. It is instead a way to determine age by measuring tooth growth and wear.
Hold it right there. Some of this is oozing out a little bit.
That's all right. Hold it up there.
I'll hold it in here. I think it's a good set, though.
Yeah, it's already set.
Feels good.
When research requires a specific type of grizzly or the recapture of a known animal, the Craigheads cannot take pot luck with a trap. Instead, they stalk an animal or stake out in their cars and wait for the desired bear to come within range of a gun that fires a drug-filled dart. Today, they seek a cub, but face the problem of its mother. Will she try to protect a fallen cub, or will she run off with the other one? No one knows.
Yeah. It's going down. Harry, the cub's headed to the stream. Give me a hand. And Jerry, take the gun. Cover John. The sound's right here.
The fast-acting drug takes effect just as the cub crosses a stream. Within seconds, the young bear might drown. Its mother might charge. Although still within striking range, the female does not charge. Another example of unpredictable grizzly behavior. The cub is placed in a trap for safekeeping. Later, he will be weighed, measured, tagged, and returned to his mother. Another recognizable individual in the growing census of grizzlies. High-powered weapons are a precaution. The Craigheads have never had to use them. There have been several narrow escapes, for each grizzly is a potential threat and may react to capture and drugging in unexpected ways. This is number 36.
Wow. That's only chapstick.
Water can.
The heavy pan filled with drinking water had been left in the cage overnight. The bear's sharp teeth and powerful jaws made it a sieve.
Just nailed it.
See if you can spread it. Just try and spread it.
Jeez.
Yeah, mix up fine.
As work continues on number 36, John Craighead sees that the bear appears to be shaking off the effects of the drug. He must keep close watch on its breathing and eye movements for signs of premature recovery.
Well, let's get a cast to the paw now.
The team prepares to make a plaster cast of the grizzly's paw. Its size is another indication of age. Uncertain of how the bear is reacting to the drug, John wonders whether to risk another injection. Too much might be harmful. Concerned as much for the bear's safety as his own, John decides against another dose. The team will have to complete the work as quickly as possible. No one can predict what might happen when the powerful 500-pound male regains use of his limbs.
We ought to put the ear tags in. Breathing faster. I'd better watch him now.
Now the drug is quickly losing its effect. Number 36 will not hold still much longer, and John cancels other planned experiments. There is time only to complete the impression and perhaps place a tag in the grizzly's ear.
Maybe it'll hold the
Bite on it. You can. Watch it.
Try tag.
I don't know. We'll try it, but let's try it and see. Let's get one in and then you gotta get it cut. Watch it. Watch it, you can. Yeah, there you go. You're gonna make it over one of Wow, they're all right. It looks all right. Yeah,
Doctors John and Frank Craighead find the early years of their unprecedented study of the grizzly both fruitful and frustrating. Although they have collected valuable biological data, their observations of behavior have been limited to chance encounters and distant views through high-powered lenses. How, they ask, can we consistently locate, follow, and get close to a free-roaming grizzly, a fierce, unpredictable animal that is most active at night and sleeps much of the day in dense, timbered retreats? Their answer is electronics.
We could use a transmitter similar to this one here, and
they enlist the help of Joel Varney, an engineer with Philco Corporation. A tiny radio will enable John and Frank to track a bear's every move.
In a month or so, and it would have the transmitter attached to the collar, to the brass strap collar. You would have to attach the battery pack and then do whatever wrapping or padding that you wanted to before you put it on the bear.
Now several layers of fiberglass, vinyls, and resins will make the device waterproof, shockproof, and, they hope, bear-proof.
Just check the on-off period.
The first to be instrumented, Grizzly number 40, will become a Craighead favorite, one of the few they have named. They call her Marion.
Yeah, that's just right.
Each collar is brightly and individually colored for easy identification. Portable tracking receivers convert the radio signals into audible beeps. Each bear is clearly identified by the number of beeps per minute. Signals from the 2-ounce transmitter can be picked up 20 miles away.
Come in real good.
Now Frank and John Craighead begin a remarkable scientific adventure. Guided by radio, they will track the grizzly for 6 years, hoping to learn facts that will save the vanishing giant. The project will test their intellect, stamina, and will.
The way we live gives us the opportunity to combine physical and mental effort toward creative and constructive ends. Studying the grizzly was a challenge because this large carnivore is a vanishing species. Also, we know relatively little about him, and he is a powerful and dangerous animal to work with. No animal species except man has been known to exterminate another. Man has already wiped out over 100 species. As chief predator of the animal world, man has a moral obligation to prevent the extermination of other forms of life.
Silent and invisible, radio signals from instrumented free-roaming grizzlies flow into the antenna atop the Craighead's Yellowstone lab. Skillful interpretation of the split-second pulses reveals the bear's location and movements. The accumulating data give the brothers new insight and perspectives. Before radio tracking, they felt they were observing the grizzlies through a keyhole. Now they have a wide-screen panoramic view. For the first time, man learns precisely how much land a grizzly needs. The average for a single bear in Yellowstone, 20 square miles. Intrigued by all problems of wildlife management, the Craighead research team applies radio tracking techniques to other species. The elk, protected in Yellowstone, is threatened not by extinction, but by overpopulation. Elk's natural enemies, the grizzly, wolf, and mountain lion, have declined. Tracking by radio is revealing how much range a band of elk requires, information essential to control their numbers and preserve their habitat.
Okay. Let me get a shot at it.
Radio transmitters are also being developed for use on birds. Although now protected by law in many states, some predatory birds are still declining. Many scientists believe widespread use of DDT and other pesticides is at least partially responsible.
Why, we'll try it on the golden eagles next. That's it. First flight with a radio on for you, huh?
By studying the movements and mortality of instrumented birds, the Craigheads hope their students will find definitive answers to the problem and help preserve nature's delicate balance.
Let's see how the sound differs from the other ones we got going. Hold it there a minute, we may get a bear at the same time.
Yeah. Get a good note, good beat.
Amid the sagebrush meadows and pine forests of Yellowstone National Park, the Craighead team spends 8 years chipping away at the myths surrounding the grizzly bear. A lonely prowler in legend, the grizzly, in fact, is a social animal. Females often adopt stray or orphaned cubs and raise them as their own. The male takes no part in raising young. The cubs are lovable, mischievous, playful, and always hungry. A mother grizzly is protective, doting, even tender. A litter may comprise 2 or 3 cubs. An only child is not uncommon. Quadruplets are rare. Toothless and hairless, the cubs weigh about 18 ounces at birth, but grow to 100 pounds or more in a year. Most females will nurse their young for a full year, some for 2. The female will not accept a mate until she has weaned her young. She must at times protect her brood from attack by a vicious male. Each grizzly troop has a dominant male who may weigh half a ton. Even other adult males get out of the way when the boss comes around. Status, dominance for its own sake, not territory, seems to be the basis for the grizzly's hierarchy. A female with cubs is high in the social order. When approached by an aggressive male, the cubs scatter, while their mother stands, ready to fight if need be to protect her family. Season after season, Frank and John Craighead tracked number 40, Marion, and other radio-equipped grizzlies, trying to learn the secrets of the bear's deep winter sleep. It is not hibernation, which is like a coma accompanied by a sharp drop in body temperature. Bears do not hibernate. In late summer and early fall, the grizzly digs his den, often miles away from his normal summer range. Then he returns to his summer haunts until some mysterious biological mechanism tells him it is time to go to sleep for half a year. When the first snow falls and temperature drops, the bears go to their dens, but do not remain inside. The storm has triggered an urge to den, but should the air warm and snow melt, they come out. They will not begin their long sleep until the big snowstorm that freezes Yellowstone for the winter. The tracking receiver directs Frank Craighead and his team to the area of Marion's den. The signal tells them the bears are near, not in their dens, but moving around. For the first time, man has tracked a grizzly to its winter home. While the others stand guard, Frank inspects Marion's den. She has dug her den beneath the roots of a big tree. Like most grizzly dens, it faces north, perhaps to assure a deep insulating blanket of snow. The interior is lined with evergreen boughs. Cubs are born during the period of deep sleep. Other inspections will reveal that pregnant females line their dens with grass and moss, providing a soft bed for the helpless infants. Weeks later, after a prolonged warm spell, heavy snows cover the Rockies. Marion again heads for her den. This time, all the grizzlies will begin their long winter sleep. The bears enter their dens before or during a snowfall, when no footprints will reveal their location. The severity of the storm forces the Craigheads to leave Yellowstone for the winter. Their dream of taking biological measurements of a bear during winter sleep must wait another year. Summer, 1966. 20 years have passed since the Craighead brothers settled in Jackson Hole. The cabins they built themselves now have electricity and plumbing. Their oldest children are in college, the youngest ready for high school. But the spirit and way of life are unchanged, and none of the Craigheads would have it any other way. They have space and they have time. They have themselves and they have each other. mountains, human beings fall into two classes, those who just look and those who climb. No Craighead can look at a peak without thinking that somehow he must get to the top. Like their fathers, the three older boys, Lance, Derek, and Charlie, revel in the challenge of nature. Just for practice, they assault a nearby butte, a sheer rock face 100 feet high.
When our boys climb mountains or take part in other relatively dangerous activities, we don't worry too much about them because we've taught them outdoor skills. Of course, as they get a little older and more proficient, they tend to think that parents don't know quite as much as they do. But even this is good, for we've also encouraged them to depend on their own judgment. Actually, we're more concerned for their safety when they're driving their cars along the highway.
In the lab at Yellowstone, hours of preparation are needed for every trek into the wilderness. Supplies of tranquilizers and anesthetics must be carefully checked, and other gear assembled. A tooth hole in a heavy steel box is a reminder of the narrow escape from Grizzly number 36. Electronic gear, like the portable tracking receiver, must be adjusted and checked after each outing. Delicate traps will safely catch wild birds needed for several research projects. Frank and John spend most evenings tabulating and interpreting the data collected in the field and preparing reports for numerous scientific journals. Pioneers in biotelemetry, the Craigheads constantly seek new techniques to gain information about wildlife. Frank uses his son Charlie as a guinea pig for an experimental EKG, electrocardiograph, that may someday pick up and transmit the heartbeat of a grizzly in winter sleep.
Let's see what we get when you do a few deep knee bends. Faster. Faster, faster, faster.
How's it reading now? You getting the reading now?
Further tests are made on a tranquilized bear in the field.
Finding a way to insert these so that they stay.
Yeah, well, right now, the main thing is just see if we can get a positioning of them.
Equipment and techniques still need development, but someday, biological information from sleeping grizzlies may help man endure extended journeys to outer space. To those who ask, why bother? What good is a grizzly anyway? The Craigheads recall the same question being asked of John's daughter Karen when she was 12. We want to save the grizzly, she said, because when he's gone forever. And we can't make another one. Nor will man be able to make another golden eagle, nor any of the 1,000 threatened species. Within a year or two, this golden eagle could make scientific history. It will be among the first of its kind to be fitted with a radio transmitter to study the effects of pesticides on birds of prey. Now, Derek is training it to return on command.
It really pleases me to watch Derek train the eagle, to see the bond of affection that has developed between Derek and the bird. At Derek's age, Frank and I trained birds ourselves and enjoyed this hobby immensely. It's good to see our children experience and enjoy some of the things that we ourselves have found rewarding and stimulating.
If you carry her a bit, she'll soon tame up, I think.
Even as young as she is, Jana knows how to handle birds, even quite a wild one like this prairie falcon.
Now, should I take it?
Yeah, slide it out slowly.
She's got her claw.
Walk slowly with her, Jana, and move slowly. Might try to give her a little water from the ditch, Jana.
You want to help me, Dad?
The important thing is that she is not afraid. Fear usually stems from ignorance, so we've tried to give our children knowledge and understanding, experiences to expand their vision and their enjoyment of life.
Looks like there are quite a few bears out here tonight.
Yeah, take a look and see what's out there.
On a crisp autumn night, the Craighead team stakes out at a Park Service dump in Yellowstone, a favorite feeding spot for the omnivorous grizzly. It is time once again to capture number 40, Marion, and renew her radio collar for another year's tracking.
There's number 40 and her 2 cubs now. She's getting in a good position to
Well, that's all we want, yeah. Wait, I'll get Frank a call.
Unit 1 to Unit 4. Come in, Frank. Over.
Go ahead.
We've located number 40. We have a light on her. We're going to try and shoot her with the drug.
Yeah, she's within range. Okay, we'll take her.
good shot.
Wait a minute, let's wait till they get her head up.
All set, 40 yards.
Yeah, this I've been on it for almost a year.
All right, now let's get the net.
Catch it like that.
Okay, feel that old foot. Let's grab it. Out.
Where's it narrow?
Big right there. It's not steep. Okay, let's hold it.
Okay.
Okay.
Watch once. Watch once.
Watch the bait. Yeah.
Go ahead now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's fine.
In the morning, Marion has gone through what to her must now be a familiar routine. She has been immobilized, weighed, measured, and she has given her blood donation. Now she gets a new collar, which will keep her under surveillance for another year.
Well, that's a 7th collar for old Marion. It'll be the 6th year, too. There it goes.
Frank and John Craighead have spent their lives seeking to understand and preserve wild creatures. They believe all mankind would somehow be poorer if the grizzly or eagle or any other species vanished from Earth. They see all beings as part of a wondrous scheme, and they often quote a poem. All things by almighty power, near and far, hiddenly to each other connected are, that thou cannot stir a flower without the troubling of a star. Both skilled cameramen, the Craighead brothers have compiled the world's best photographic record of the grizzly bear. Evenings like this at the Yellowstone lab are rewarding to Frank and John, a stimulating opportunity to share with students and visiting colleagues their work and philosophy.
All creatures, including man, exhibit some common behavior traits deeply rooted in animal instincts and animal drives. So as we strive to know ourselves and to understand our own behavior, we find there is much we can learn by studying other animal life, whether it be mice or grizzly bears.
For more than 20 years, Frank and John Craighead led the most detailed and comprehensive study of grizzly bears ever made. And at the Craighead Wildlife Wildlands Institute in Montana, research continues on the grizzly and a variety of other rare creatures around the world. Using satellite technology and radio telemetry, the Institute is collecting invaluable information about the habits and habitats of grizzlies, caribou, eagles, bighorn sheep, snow leopards, and bristle-thighed curlews, among others. Day by day, the Craigheads bring us closer to a better understanding of the world's biological diversity. Next time on the Best of National Geographic, we'll explore another corner of the endlessly rewarding and surprising world around us. I'm Mike Farrell for the National Geographic Society.
National Geographic wishes to acknowledge Chevron for making possible the National Geographic Specials.